Good afternoon, dear members of the media, and welcome to Arena Riga for our traditional wrap-up press conference at FIBA EuroBasket 2025. We are joined today by two distinguished guests, Mr. Jorge Garbajosa, FIBA Europe President, and Mr. Kamil Novak, FIBA Executive Director Europe. Before we open the floor to questions, we will take opening statements from both. So I invite you, Jorge, to start and share your views on this EuroBasket.
Thanks a lot. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Also, really thanks for the coverage of the information of this EuroBasket during these last almost 3 weeks. And thanks for attending to this press conference the day before of the most important day in this FIBA EuroBasket 2025, a EuroBasket that is very clear today that became a worldwide event more than ever before. There is no other sport, obviously football, whose European Championship has such a big audience outside Europe. That applies not only to the interest from global media, but also to the huge reach it has directly with regular fans all across the world. As an example, the USA is one of the top 3 countries in terms of engagement with our digital official channels. Social media numbers, TV audiences, and media interests have already broken the records of 2022 and still have the final part of the event to be played. We will be able to provide exact figures after the end of this tournament. But for example, as an example today, the quarterfinal game between Greece and Lithuania had a 46% average share on the Greek TV broadcaster, and the share rose to 72% among young fans, which shows that the EuroBasket is especially popular with the most dynamic demographic. And also yesterday, the second semi-final game was followed in Turkey by more than 10 million spectators, which is the biggest audience in the recent history in that country. Also in terms of production, it's one of the highest caliber, both in terms of quantity with all the latest technology equipment, but also in terms of quality of the coverage of every single game of this championship. I can tell you that I receive a lot of positive feedback from people who are used to watch NBA games and saw some things for the first time in this 2025 EuroBasket. For example, we get a lot of questions about a special camera that our FIBA social media crew used to capture certain players' actions that we use in our official channels. In this tournament, we saw again the importance of the impact of the qualifiers windows that we reintroduced back in 2017. Windows are the accelerators of the development of the national teams in all aspects, such as bringing in new players and helping with the depth of the team rosters. Probably Finland is perhaps the best example of this, making these semi-finals for the first time in their history. But not only, cases as Georgia, Poland, or Sweden, or even Portugal show this example. And let's not forget that the show will be back in November, just in 2 months, with the first window of the FIBA World Cup European qualifiers that will decide which European teams will qualify for the World Cup 2027 in Qatar. Basketball never stops. And in 2 months from now, it again will be the main talk in 32 countries in our continent. The enthusiasm of national team basketball continues, and we are certain that fans will embrace the national teams and celebrate them with playing at home. Tomorrow we have the last day of action here, and we expect to have great both games, both the bronze game and the big final. As on Monday, we will already start working with our EuroBasket 2029 hosts, Spain, Greece, Estonia, and Slovenia. And now I pass the floor to Mr. Novak to give you some data about the EuroBasket 2025.
Thank you, Jorge. Good afternoon from my side. Now, I would maybe like to remind all of us to how the EuroBasket happened. You might remember that the award of the EuroBasket 2025 was just a few weeks after the war started in Ukraine. Overnight, we had from 6 candidates only 3. The board awarded initially 3 hosts, and Poland joined as a co-host later during the EuroBasket 2022 by board decision. So I want to thank all 4 national federations, all 4 countries, that they took it in these times of uncertainty. Nobody knew how long it will go. At the moment, we have even more difficult geopolitical situation. So I think the 2025 EuroBasket, it's a great example that Europe is able to deliver such an event even in very challenging times. Maybe a few words to all 4 of those hosts. I start with Cyprus, a huge investment from the government, the renovation or rebuild of the arena for such a small country. It is historical moment. The top politicians are or have been involved and supported heavily the event. Probably you've heard this is, we believe, by far the best team hotel at the EuroBaskets all over. Poland, also arena, which was a little bit a concern at the end of the day. It was unbelievable. Personally, I received several phone calls. Is there new arena was built in Katowice? This is how the arena looked on TV. Huge investments by the federation. Also, congratulations to them. Finland, Tampere, the arena. I think this is maybe the most modern basketball arena or multifunctional arena in Europe. So there was no concern whatsoever, and the hospitality, the Finnish hospitality was known. You might remember they also host the EuroBasket group phase back in 2017. And Latvia, I don't need to say much. You all know even better than I. So many events here, Olympic qualifiers. Now I'm thinking of the bubbles in the Corona time. Also co-host of the 2015 EuroBasket, by the way. That was the first multicultural EuroBasket. So organizers with a lot of experience in this beautiful arena. So again, congratulations and thank you to all 4 countries and of course the national federations for this event. We are not done yet. We have still 2 more games. But already now we can say that the 4 countries, the 4 hosts, they did a great efforts to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both, for some figures and insights on EuroBasket. I think we're ready to open the floor to questions. You know the drill, but please raise your hand and wait for the microphone before you ask your question. And also, if you could please state your name and the media outlet you work for. We can start with the first question. In the back, please. Yes, black t-shirt.
Good afternoon, Matīs Timofejovs, Latvian television. Here in Latvia, we had many discussions about ticket prices. Can you clarify who is deciding ticket prices? It's FIBA or it's a local organizer? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So first of all, it's fair to say that the ticketing, the ticket policy, strategies, and ticket pricing is fully with the organizers. This is their main source of income. We also, especially last few days, we hear some comments about that. And this is certainly something we will evaluate. You know that after such event, there will be evaluation period. But on the other hand, I think we have to understand this is EuroBasket. This is an event which is organized every 4 years. You see here absolute superstars of not only European, of the world basketball. You know that there are some players here who are mega stars even in the NBA. So if we should compare, if you go to rock concert, if you go to, I don't want to name any of the big names of the music, the ticket is not 15, 20 or 25 euros. But again, we take it seriously, and this is something we will take in consideration when we evaluate, but also clearly stated that this is fully on the LOC side.
Thank you. We have another question here in the front.
Good afternoon to both. Alexander Somoglu from Parapolitica GR. I have one question for Mr. Novak and one for Mr. Garbajosa. Mr. Novak, I would like to ask you, especially for Cyprus, it was a kind of experiment for FIBA. It was the first time you gave the opportunity to such a small country to organize a group phase. Are you satisfied with the organization? And are you planning on giving more opportunities to such countries without big basketball legacy to expand the European basketball? And for Mr. Garbajosa, we had a tournament with a lot of injuries, and many coaches ask from FIBA to expand the number of players they're going to have We saw yesterday Germany play a semi-final with 10 players. Are you planning in the next events to give the opportunities to coaches to have more solutions on the rosters in order to don't have problem with injuries? Thank you.
I will start. I will a little bit repeat myself, but I will give more insight on Cyprus. First of all, Cyprus is a member federation like 49 other federations of FIBA Europe, so they have the right to apply and to host if they are awarded the EuroBasket. I said few words about the award, about how complicated it was, but this has less to do with Cyprus. Cyprus presented a very ambitious bid. The board, before awarding, was aware that about the size of the federation, but also they saw the presentation made by the representatives, also supported by politicians, that this is maybe the biggest event, sports event, which would be organized in the territory. The arena, and our main concern, to be very honest, our main concern was the arena. We won't provide the players with possibly best arenas. A visualization was presented to us what they want to do, and this visualization, there is always, sometimes there is a gap between what is planned and what is delivered. Here I have to say, it's 120% delivered what was presented, which again, it's not always the case. So we cannot say a word, and I think, again, from side of the players, I would be very surprised to hear any word of complaint. This is really outstanding hotel, they were accommodated. I heard, and sorry to say, also from media side, I heard only positive feedbacks. I think people were surprised. So, congratulations to Cyprus. And now your question, I think this is one of the strengths of the multi-country hosting. Obviously, we always need 1, 2 big federations, big countries, big basketball countries. I'm not talking about the size of the country. But there is always opportunity for smaller federations who could never organize or be part of organization of EuroBasket. And in the past, if you look, I don't want to name, but I could name, there are several countries who could never host. And I start with my country, Czech Republic, but Romania, Israel, now Estonia. So there is always space for the smaller federations to become part of such a huge event such as EuroBasket. And we believe that this is also our contribution to grow for the smaller countries. So let's see now what Cyprus will do out of this experience. Now they have a really very modern venue, and let's see what they will do. And it's not only for basketball, obviously this is now venue for maybe other sports events. So this would be answer to your question regarding Cyprus and smaller countries being part of EuroBasket. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Before to ask the question that you made directly to me, let me add one thing of what Kamil said that I fully supported. Probably Cyprus is a small country, but the organization was really big, to be honest. They achieved every highest standard of organization. So maybe we can consider a small country, but an organization we consider as a big one. And this, first of all, thank you to all the president and the LOC, because they made a hell of a job, to be honest. Accomplish every date, every standard of organization, and this encourages us to repeat the experience with other, as Kamil said, small countries in the future. So we are very glad that the experience was really positive. About your question, we have to separate it in 2 things. If we talk about injuries, it's one thing. If we talk about to have more players, to put one player in, one player out every game, it is different. In the second case, we are not in favor, because the data said very clearly that normally the coaches use 9 players, maybe up to 10, and the 11th and 12th just have limited minutes. So we think it's not needed. About injuries is another thing. It's true that, for example, Germany, if I'm not wrong, tomorrow will play with only 10 players. We could open the discussion about to have players being ready, potentially at home or practicing or in a B team, whatever it is to replace potential injuries. But there is one thing that I would like to extend in my explanation here to allow you to understand better how FIBA Europe and FIBA works. These kind of decisions are not because I wake up tomorrow morning, I think that is a good decision to do this, or Mr. Novak proposed this. No, this is a very open organization. We have a very large competition commission, youth commission, so all these topics can be discussed. If a federation comes with a good proposal explaining why, how, and when to do it, for sure it's going to be discussed, and the commission will propose to the board to be approved or not. But honestly, we are totally open to open this discussion, because we think that this EuroBasket shown that we have a potential improvement also in this matter.
Yes. Vinas?
Edvinas Jablonskis, Basket News. I have a question for Mr. Novak. You had already a question about the ticketing prices, but I just want to ask, isn't FIBA concerned about the attendance numbers in the playoffs? For example, in the round of 16, the average attendance was just over 3,000. In the quarterfinal, it was over 7,000. In the semifinal, it might be better, but both of games were not clearly sold out. So, in your opinion, is it possible, are you concerned? And at the same time, would you consider moving the tournament a bit earlier in the summer when people are usually on holidays, there are no school for kids, that kind of thing? Thank you.
Well, there are many questions in one question. I will try to answer. First, the attendance. I think, and the numbers are very clear, the group attendance has grown compared to 2022. If you remember, also in Berlin, in the 8 finals, for the fans, it's a little bit challenging to manage because until the last game of the group phase, they don't know who and where will be playing in the final phase venue. So there is always impact on that. I think as of quarterfinals, there is a dramatic change. I hope you all did see the games, obviously, yesterday, but also in the quarterfinals, the numbers were actually very good. So we have to also take in consideration if we play in Berlin, in the radius of 100 kilometers of Berlin, there are maybe 35 million people living. Here, obviously, it is not the case. So these are always the things which need to be taken in consideration. But it can always be better. I would agree with you, but especially the last 3 game days are full satisfactory to us. So this would be, I think, was there any other, I might have forgotten, is that satisfactory?
There's one question in the back first, yes?
Good evening, Yannis Lambiris from Greek television, Mega and newspaper Tanea. For Mr. Garbajosa, you were a very big player, and like you play a lot of games, and the games is more and more and more. Are you satisfied so that FIBA decide to make EuroBasket every 4 years so the players has maybe one summer free? And the second part, if you can answer me, you have the best player, the best coach, the best team here, but the level of referees, do you think that it could be much better in the future if you have more referees and maybe from EuroLeague go through other part of referees? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. If you allow me, with the second sentence that you said, you are answering the first one. You said like the best players, best teams are here. Maybe, I'm sure, that one of the reasons is because we play just one EuroBasket in the 4 years term. Because if you play every single year for the players, as you correctly said, it is exhausting. But not only, also because we are much focused on the players' experience. Think about that. Excuse me that I talk about my career because you mentioned it. I used to play EuroBasket with 3 games in a row, 1 day off, 3 games in a row, 1 day off, then quarterfinal, semifinals, and final. This was 2009. Now, the players only have 1 back-to-back. This was the first decision of this office term to expand 1 day off, 1 day off, 1 day of rest of the EuroBasket with a big effort from FIBA Europe to support the co-hosts to avoid as much as we can the back-to-back. Only 1 back-to-back in this EuroBasket and no back-to-backs in the 2029 because we really take care of the health and rest of the players because we want, as you correctly said, as happened in the EuroBasket, to have the best players, best coaches, and best teams participating in the best competition events in Europe. Then about the officials, I have to be totally honest. I am very proud of the job of the officials. I think that they are doing great job during the whole tournament. For sure, they make mistakes, but the players miss shots, coaches miss decisions. I make mistakes every single day, believe me, a lot. You can ask my wife, excuse me to say. But we have to protect them. I said in the beginning, in my initial speech, that we have like, I don't know how many cameras around the court, so every contact, every detail can be viewed from many angles, and all the decisions can be taken with a big question mark. But honestly, I think the way that they are managing the games, they were controlling the games, the way that they're taking the decisions, I think is very, very high level so far.
Thank you. We have one question here in the front, first row.
Hi, Emmett Ryan from Ball in Europe. I feel bad as an Irishman ragging on the British coverage, but Jorge, Britain was the only country of the 24 that didn't have its own TV deal. There was no British journalists here outside of FIBA employees. What do you folks need to do to get the British media to have more of an interest in covering this? Because obviously it's a huge market.
To be honest, and I will respond and then I'll pass the floor to Mr. Novak for a couple of the details. We are working very closely with the British Basketball Federation. We know that the situation is not the easiest one there. We create a task force. We are working on it to try to support as basketball, the basketball in Great Britain and in your country. So it is not an easy task. We cannot get too much in the reality of every national team and national federation, but obviously we will be always on the side of the basketball in the British and in the United Kingdom. You want to add?
Maybe to add, this is not a secret. We all see, I think everybody sees the potential of the country, but also as a basketball, it's a huge country with a lot of inhabitants. A lot of players are in the NCAA, some in the NBA. So certainly there is a lot of potential. As President said, as Mr. Garbajosa said just now, we created a task force to support, to solve the disputes within the British basketball family, let's call it this way. But obviously, the main work must be done on site, and we are open and ready to support any positive, let's say, approach and positive plan to improve. And we all believe, I think this is maybe what also you see, if there is a proper structure and everybody works, this might be very fastly another basketball power in a mixture. So there is a lot of potential, but our possibilities are a little bit limited, and the work must come firstly from the UK, from the basketball authorities in the country. But we are certainly ready to support, and as President said, the task force has been created just few days ago, and let's see.
Question in the fourth row, black T-shirt, fourth row. No, yeah. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon to both of you. Roy Jankolovitz, iSport. My question is, when will Israel host games again at home? And follow-up to that, how do you see Israeli fans being able to attend the Mundo Basket in 2027? Like in 2022, they did attend Qatar, because I don't know if you know, Israelis are not allowed to get into Qatar. There's no visa possibility, nothing. Thank you.
Believe me that as not only as FIBA Europe, also as FIBA, we are monitoring the situation on Israel very closely, in a very close collaboration with about information and about to have reports of the situation in Israel. I talk not every week, but almost with Mr. President Amos Friesman to know the development of the situation there, not only in basketball. And for us, the most important thing in this case and in every case is going to be the safe and security of the players, staff, referees, etc., etc. Once we understand one day that it's safe to play games, official games or not official games in Israel, for sure we will be this proposal we will bring to the board, and the board will decide as always. But so far, the security recommendations are to wait.
Thank you. Second row, right here.
Hello, Christos Saltas, Athletic.gr. Mr. Garbajosa, you mentioned earlier that the EuroBasket is a global event right now with a huge interest around the world. How the brand new league between FIBA and NBA, that the upcoming league, how can affect even more in EuroBasket in the future?
Thanks for the question. I think only in a positive way, because basketball is probably the only sport who have, allow me to say to our friends, a partner and at the same time a competitor as the NBA in the same ecosystem. But the NBA is probably the best, allow me to say, partner or tool or competition to promote the basketball all over the world. Once I said this, allow me to refer to the words of Mr. Silver 2 days ago. He explained very well about the project. I think this is just positive things, but allow me to respect the finalists, the players, the teams that will play tomorrow for the final of the EuroBasket and the bronze medal game, to respect them and talk about the EuroBasket and not too much about this topic. That I think I never hide to talk about this topic. Also Mr. Saglis, also Mr. Novak, Mr. Silver. So if you allow me, I have to ask you to talk about the EuroBasket. Thank you.
Thank you. Another question, I think it was in the, yeah, right there.
Hello, Lucas Catillus, Basket News. A question for Mr. Garbajosa. You've talked earlier about EuroBasket 2029, and Lithuania was one of the contenders to host one of the groups. What factors led to their bid not being successful?
Well, because could not be six. To be totally honest, we had I have to be totally transparent. One of the we all know how the situation geopolitical all around our continent, and sometimes you have some, not scared, but you are a little bit concerned to have the countries and the federations decide to organize such a big event as the EuroBasket is. And we were extremely positively surprised when we had not only 6 great bidders, believe me that for the board was extremely difficult to decide which 4. The only reason that I would say is not Netherlands and not Lithuania is because could not be 6. Because honestly, they deserve it as Estonia, as Slovenia, Greece, or Spain. And this is why we, unfortunately, our good friends of Lithuania and Netherlands would be a little bit disappointed. But honestly, I have to say publicly, as I said privately, that their bid was amazing, was extraordinary, and we are very glad to check how the federations are working to make every single year, every single 4 years, better said, a better EuroBasket.
Thank you. One question.
Yusuf Petka from Basket News. A question for Mr. Garbajosa. So you, Andreas Zaklis, and Paulius Matiūnas met each other in Cyprus during the group stage, and Mr. Zaklis earlier confirmed that EuroLeague is also involved in NBA project. So when the NBA Europe launches, what role do you see for the EuroLeague in this project? Thank you.
Since I had the honor to be elected in FIBA Europe as president, I've been talking with EuroLeague, I think, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So the communication with them is open. Sometimes the goals that we want to achieve as different organizations are different or totally different, or are have some distance between their goals and our goals. The communication is good, the personal relationships are good. Sometimes, again, the goals are not the same ones. But as FIBA and FIBA Europe, as the governing body, we have the honor, but also the mandate from our boards to talk with every player in our ecosystem. The discussions are ongoing. I show it, and Mr. Zaklis said the same, that we are very optimistic about the project in NBA Europe and how this can impact in our ecosystem. And EuroLeague is a great competition, nobody can hide it. And Mr. Silver said 3 days ago, the conversation, the discussions are open, the dialogue is open, and let's see, there's a long way to walk from today until whenever this happens about the NBA Europe competition in our continent.
Yes, we can go back to Basket News.
Mr. Garbajosa, you just said that there is a long way to go. So are you confident that this NBA Europe could start from 2026? Or if not, when the realistic expectation is that?
While I was saying it, I was thinking about that this is going to be the next question. Sorry. I don't want to respond too much about the, as I say, NBA Europe, but I have to do it, obviously, with all the due respect. This is going to happen. It's very clear. Mr. Silver announced it publicly, Mr. Zaklis publicly, I did it also. It is not easy to create one competition, a big competition as we want to create, as NBA want to create in Europe. So it's going to take a while, but this is going to happen. Believe me. How and when, let's see. But this is going to happen, no doubts about it. Then some prospects talk about 2027. I think it's a good year, but honestly, NBA is working on it. We are their partners. We want to be their partners. We want to be together with them because we truly believe that this competition is going to be good, not for FIBA, not for NBA. It's going to be good for the basketball ecosystem in Europe. But believe me, no doubt that this competition is going to happen in the future.
Yes, a follow-up from Latvian TV.
As you mentioned, here in Riga and all over this championship, there are a lot of biggest world basketball stars. Mainly, I can say they are friendly and open and talk to us, but there are some big stars who is not talking with media. In NBA, they're doing it. How you thought about some mechanism to force them to talk with media? Thank you.
I think I know what you have in your mind. We saw it a little bit, the tendency already 3 years ago. Obviously, it has a lot to do with the social media, with the growing activities and also possibilities for the players. We did address it. We saw it from the very beginning. I'm not very happy now to say, but obviously at some point there is a sanctioning system, which we are not big fans of, but this is at the end the language which people understand. We wish, or we would wish, especially our colleagues from the communication department, that this is not necessary. The players have to understand that the EuroBasket is not only for them to shine and get the stage, but they are also role models. And this is why the tickets, maybe the ticket price is high, but then also the young kids, boys and girls, come here to watch the stars, and this is motivation for them. So it's extremely important for us as an organization, and especially in cooperation with you, to have the news, to have their thoughts, to have their statements. And we are on it. We are concerned again, but I think at the end we did manage. We had a period of 2 or 3 game days where we had massive complaints from your side, which we fully understood and of course fully supported. So I think it was addressed the appropriate way and it has improved.
Do we have any more questions? We'll take one there.
I would like to ask you, Mr. Garbajosa, we saw yesterday a big semi-final against 2 big rivals like Turkey and Greece, with many fans from both countries without to happen nothing. It was very nice. After the game, we have some posts from Turkish Federation and from Segun that they are not so simple sports. Do you agree that official player, coaches and federation must be more careful than the fans?
Thank you. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not informed about what this post. I'm not a big social media guy because of my age probably. But you said in the beginning of your question what for me was amazing is we all know the rivalry between Turkey and Greece, and I saw a sold-out arena with a big show. Obviously, we have a winner, we have a loser in every game, but the behavior of the fans of both countries were spectacular, was amazing. And for me, this is the most important thing. Then, if somebody posts something which is incorrect or is correct, we always encourage to protect the integrity of the competition, to honor the opponent, to honor your teammates, is what we recommend. Honestly, I'm not informed about it, sorry for that. But again, for me, it was a big, on the court was a good show, but on the stands, the behavior of both fans, of both group of fans, was amazing.
I would just add, it's important. You probably saw there is no barriers between the blocks of fans. They are very much mixed, and I think both countries, both national federations should be extremely proud about what was delivered, how friendly, it was heated, but still very friendly atmosphere with no incidents. We all know that this is not granted, and I think both national federations should be extremely proud at their fans, what they showed here. Of course, I know we have still games tomorrow, and I just hope that the same atmosphere will be also delivered tomorrow, and everybody can enjoy the beautiful games.
Exactly, and not only during the game, after the game, with a difference between one team and the result, no any kind of issue out of the arena. So I think, I guess, as Kamil said, we all can be proud, especially their national federations.
Okay, we have time for a few more questions in the back because we haven't heard from you yet.
Hello, Mr. President. Spiros Kontos, Betaradas.gr. Going back to the Israel topic, you said about safety, and it's the most important part. We heard in Katowice, Poland, some booing on the national anthem of Israel. What's your take on that, and does it raise any flags about the participation of Israeli teams in FIBA competitions? Because a heated moment may go to something more difficult. Thank you very much.
If you allow, I would answer yes. I mean, we were both in Katowice in separated time frames. Yes, we saw it. It was, of course, addressed. It is something which we don't want to see, which we don't want to hear. We are here, sports organization. I think at the end it was much better improved. Obviously, one single person can create a huge, we all know, huge issues. So, but there is what you said at the end. There is no implication. I think Israel did play a very successful EuroBasket. We had many Israeli fans in Katowice. There was no single issue in terms of the fans that attacks, etc. So nothing like that. And yes, the booing during the anthems was there, but again, it was improved after we addressed it with the organizers.
We'll go back to the front here, first row.
Thanks, Emmett Ryan from Ball in Europe again. Jorge, you've been asked a lot of questions about NBA Europe. I'm going to do a little spin on that. Considering the growth of the women's game in Europe, has there been any even bare discussions between y'all and the NBA about or WNBA, sorry, about a WNBA Europe?
Well, thanks for the question. Believe me that women's in basketball is one of the main strategic pillars of FIBA and FIBA Europe also. In FIBA Europe, we are very proud to say that we have the best club competition in the world, women's, which is the EuroLeague Women, which is a great competition. We changed the format 1.5 years ago. We also changed many things. We have the multiple-year host for the Final Six. We have no Final Four, Final Six to include more teams to arrive to the next stage. So we truly believe that our competition, that our women's basketball is growing in Europe, in the clubs, in the national teams competition. We saw it, my first EuroBasket woman, the final between Spain and Belgium, the attendance was like 1,000 spectators, 700 spectators, which was very unpleasant. The same final 2 years later in Athens, where the local team not playing the final phase, it was followed in the arena by 8,000 spectators. So this is a very symbolic, but much more than symbolic number to see and to test that the basketball in Europe, the women's basketball in Europe is growing and growing and growing. Then we know also that the NBA, the WNBA in this case, is expanding. What we would love is how to match both expansion. We create a group with the experts in Europe about women's in basketball to take decisions that will decide the future of women's in basketball in our continent. But we truly believe that with the effort of our clubs, the effort of our national federations that are investing more time and resources for the women's in basketball, the future of our basketball female, it is brilliant.
Thank you. We have time for 2 more questions. If there is anybody in the room. Yes, second row.
One question for you, Mr. Garbajosa, is about the EuroBasket 2029. Is there any possibility to see Russia back in FIBA competition?
Well, impossible is not. But we have to remember why, as FIBA and FIBA Euro, we took the decision that we took back then. And it was mainly because of the strong recommendation of the IOC. And we, as FIBA, we are very collaborative with our mother house, which would be the IOC, let's say. And we follow it as almost 100% of the federations, of the international federations of different sports. If now we have, since 3 months ago, a new president, 3 months ago, a new president of the IOC, Mrs. Coventry, I want to take the opportunity to congratulate her and to wish all the best, because it's not an easy task at all. And we will follow her, the guidance of her and the IOC, to know the next decision that we have to take, if there is any decision to be taken.
Last question from the gentleman, yeah, third row.
Hello, Nemanja Stanočić, website Mondo. Question for Mr. Garbajosa. You mentioned on the beginning about that addition of the players and injuries. I was wondering, as a former player, now as a president of FIBA Europe, have you spoke directly to the players? What are their thoughts? Do they want more players? Do they not? Have you spoken to them and their way of thinking? Thank you.
We talk in 2 different ways. One more formal, with the Athletes Commission in FIBA, which the chair is Mr. Nowitzki, I think we all know him. And the vice chair is Mrs. Sonia Basic, to have both points of view. And this is the formal way to discuss about these topics. And in an informal way, I had the honor and the pleasure to know most of them, and I feel free, and we can talk directly about these topics. And honestly, for us, the opinion of the athletes is extremely valuable, but in this case, not only. We need all, we think more opinions as the coaches want and the national federations want, because this is not a matter only to interchange players, because we said, okay, we all agree that it is not good, it's not the perfect scenario that Germany, and allow me to use this example, that will play tomorrow the final with 10. But what would be the solution? To have the player practicing at home and maybe he will never join the team because hopefully there's no injuries. So every decision needs to be taken with some reflection. Good ideas, we have all good ideas, but then the reality have to show if it's that good as we expect or not. So, as I said in the beginning, we will consider this possibility. We have the Competition Commission in FIBA Europe, we have the Athletes Commission in FIBA, we will analyze it, and if we find a good solution for players, coaches, and national federations, it would be a pleasure for us to implement it.
Are there any final chance for questions? Any final questions before we conclude the session? One more, third row.
Probably a question for Mr. Novak. It has been announced that the opening game of EuroBasket 2029 will be hosted in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. So can you elaborate, how do you view such an event in such a big environment?
Well, I think for us, and President already mentioned, we were happy and blessed to have so many great candidates to host the event. The award was an event itself. Now, Spain won the bid, and this was a part of their bid. It is not new idea. I'm very honest. We had actually we were very close to play opening games in a football stadium already in the previous EuroBaskets. At the end, it didn't happen just purely due to non-availability of the facilities. So for us, this is really something what we have been targeting for many years, actually for decades, to have an opening game or maybe even more games in the football stadium. So of course, this is an iconic one. It's a huge one. We have now 4 years' time to work on it. Just don't forget we had the EuroBasket 22, so we had only 3 years to prepare this one. Now we have 4 years. And this is certainly a very pleasant work, because we believe this could be a huge boost for our sports. Now, we have to see, of course, how this will all look like live when there is a basketball court in the middle of such a huge facility as the San Bernabeu. But this is certainly something and I'm talking now on behalf of all my colleagues in the office. This is great. This is a great challenge, and we will be more than happy, together with the Spanish Federation, with the LOC, to deliver such an experience to the fans, but also hopefully to the media. I hope that you will also enjoy it and you will see what can be done. Now, again, how it will look like, maybe afterwards we will say, But again, we are extremely excited about this option.
Thank you very much to all the media representatives in the room for your questions. And gentlemen, thank you for your time and availability. This concludes the press conference, but we will be back at 6:30 for the first finalist press conference with Team Turkey. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.